Ike,
Yes, sir.
it's list season, man.
It is. It's
That's how
listening.
you know we're in the offseason. We got a few more lists to talk about. I don't know if we've even gone through all of the lists, but there was a recent list that came out through On3. Andy Staples
Mm-hmm.
released what he felt to be the top 25 post spring portal.
Mm-hmm.
This is the top 25 team he has that he feels can actually be a competitor. These 25 teams can be a competitor for the expanded playoff in 2024.
Yeah.
There's a certain program that's near and dear to those of us here who was actually included in that list,
Yeah.
Ike. When was the last time Auburn was in the top 25?
Oh, I don't even know the answer to that. Don't make me lie to y'all. 2017, maybe. I don't know. Oh no,
No,
actually,
no, 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 no,
year
no.
one
Was
under
it
Harsin, we were in the top 25. Were we
we
not? At some
was
point in time during
2020,
that season.
2021,
Yeah.
2021, I think, especially after we beat Arkansas, maybe even before that Arkansas game.
Yeah.
We were ranked. You're absolutely right. And I don't think we even sniffed a ranking ever since. I don't think.
Yeah. I don't know the last time we were preseason ranked, but like,
Ant says 2022.
yeah, that
Was
was
that preseason?
uh
Because
2021. I think we were ranked. I don't think we were
that
ranked in
had to been
22.
that had to been preseason if it was
Really?
2022.
Going into
That
that year two of Harsin, people thought we were going to be in the top 25.
if we were at all.
Really?
2021 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because it was a little messy. We lost both our coordinators, and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, according to Andy, Andy has us in the top 25. Let's break out this list, Ike. Let's
Yeah.
break out this list. Number one, he has Ohio State. There are 9 SEC teams represented here, starting with
Crazy.
Georgia, the highest ranked, Alabama right behind them at 3, Texas
I
at
don't
number
even
5. Go ahead.
know what conferences some of these teams are in right now. Like I'm sitting here looking at it, it's like what conference is Oregon in right now? Is ACC, the Big Ten? I don't even remember anymore,
Big
man.
10, I think. I
Yeah.
think they're Big 10. USC is Big 10. So that gives them a boost.
Yeah.
I think that gives them what, 1, 2,
3,
3,
4.
4, 5, 5, 6, maybe.
I don't. Again, Nebraska. They're Big 10 right now, or are they Big 12?
Yes, they're Big 10. They used to be Big 12 a long time
See,
ago, but they're Big 10
I
now.
can't keep up with all these people, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of moving around, but the SEC has 9 teams represented in the top 25 according to Andy Staples of On3. Auburn comes in at number 20
Yeah.
ahead of Oklahoma there.
Yeah.
So one of the talking points that he mentions about Auburn, Ike, is Andy puts a lot of confidence in Hugh Freeze. Um, and it's I actually chuckled a bit because he says, "What is it about these play callers who, once they get to Auburn, decides they need to stop calling plays?"
Yeah, I chuckled at that too because I
Yeah,
I chuckled while it was happening last season. I chuckled at Coach Harsin not doing it in year two. Um, I don't understand it, but hey, listen, there
yeah.
there are reasons, I'm sure, but
He puts a lot of confidence in his play calling abilities, and he mentions one player uh, that he expects to be called on early and often. Most of us expect him to be called on early and often as well, as that's Cam Coleman. He believes that Hugh Freeze will begin to right the ship, sans some type of New Mexico State type of collapse
ridiculousness. Yeah.
in this season. He expects Auburn to be a much improved team. My question to you, Ike, well, I got 2 questions. Do you see a scenario where Auburn is at some point in the season? We'll talk when this could potentially happen. Do you see a scenario this season where Auburn could legit be a top 25 team?
I mean, it's definitely possible. I don't know where Auburn starts the season ranked, and that's really what this question comes down to, right?
Right.
Like, if you look at preseason polls, I don't know if people have started to do their just outside of the top 25 type of thing. If Auburn is somewhere in the top 35, 10, at least with 10 spots within striking distance of the top 25, then you beat Cal and you beat what game is Oklahoma?
It's the fifth game, I
You beat
think.
Cal and you beat Oklahoma, I think you get into the top
So
25.
you Auburn starting again. We'll look at the schedule more in depth, but
Well, I think
Alabama,
you have to go
A&M,
undefeated
Cal,
all the way through there. I
New
think you
Mexico, Arkansas.
yeah.
So you got 5 games in the month of September, and Oklahoma is the fifth game.
I think you got to go 5-0 in that. I don't think beating Cal and Arkansas is enough unless you beat the absolute pants off of both of them. Like you have to go out there and smack both of those teams because they're at home. They're home games. I don't think you get enough just to win it. You have to really go. I mean, you got to embarrass both of those teams at home to be in the top 25, in my opinion. But if it does, I don't think it matters as long as you beat Oklahoma. So you can barely win the first 5 games. But the only way you get into the top 25, in my opinion, after the first 4 is to pants those 2.
Okay. Now, obviously, what will happen, what tends to happen, Ike, not only do you have to take care of what's in front of you, but what tends to move teams up is you have a team that's overrated and
True,
plummets,
true, true, true.
right? Who do you see on this
Ooh,
list?
this is a good question.
Who do you see on this list that, assuming Auburn takes care of business,
Yeah.
contributes to them actually moving into the top 25?
Ooh, good question. Who is going to go out here and wet the bed early in the season? I don't know that I have to look at Iowa's schedule. I don't know that Iowa found an offense in the offseason to be able to do anything. So it kind of depends on who they play early.
Mhm.
That's a really good question. See, mm, did Penn State find Penn State always plays well early in the season for some reason?
Yeah, it's the back half of the season. It gets
Yeah,
real tough for them.
I ain't gonna hold you. I'm shocked at Nebraska being this high. Like I'm shocked at Auburn being this high, but I'm shocked at Nebraska. Like I'm more shocked at Nebraska being this high. Like
Steve
they've
Neely
done
says
well.
Iowa and NC State.
Okay, Iowa, NC State, not mad at that.
Grayson McCall is at NC State, and he's mentioned in his article as why he thinks NC State can be a top 25 team. I'm curious to see how he does now. He has a shot at a Power 5 program.
Yeah,
But I think a team I'm with you on Nebraska. I'm keeping an eye out on Clemson.
mm.
I'm keeping an eye out for Clemson here. Do you know that Dabo did not get a single player out of the transfer
He
portal?
doesn't believe in the transfer portal. Apparently, like
So listen, do you? But it has to work, right? I
yeah,
like if you're not gonna play by the by the rules of this new era of college football, you need to know what you're doing. Clemson has had a bad habit, Ike, of starting the season out slow.
true. I mean, and
That
this
was
is even when they were really good.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. So if they're still trying to figure out their QB situation,
Which I mean, I'm assuming I haven't paid a ton of attention, but they didn't get
mm,
anybody from the transfer portal. So is Cade Klubnik still there?
Three-star defensive back Dante Core is now the 11th commitment of the Auburn Tigers 2025 class. From Fort Walton Beach, Florida, Dante has attracted the attention of several big programs, recently receiving offers from LSU, Ole Miss, Florida, amongst many others. Known for his athletic ability as a lockdown corner on the outside, Dante is also a menace on special teams, routinely making a habit of blocking kicks, returning kicks for touchdowns, and destroying the returners on kickoff and punt coverage. Severely underrated coming out of the Florida Panhandle, Auburn secondary coach Wesley McGriff identified Dante early and never let up. On May 18th, Coach McGriff's persistence was rewarded as Dante chose Auburn over the Ole Miss Rebels. With more eyes on him this fall, I wouldn't be shocked to see Dante's ranking rise significantly, and it's very likely that he will pick up that 4-star before his time in high school is complete. This has been Dustin Smith of the Uptempo Podcast with your Auburn Tigers recruiting update.
Today's quick cut was brought to you by the folks over at Manscaped. And in case you all didn't know, I know this is a very forgotten holiday, but Father's Day is right around the corner. So today's episode is brought to you by Manscaped, the leaders in the below waist grooming category. Maybe your pops has had a bush since the 70s, and that's okay Our friends at Manscaped have crafted a total package for his special day. Whether it's for the boys downstairs, his beard, or even the best pair of underwear out there, Manscaped has all the bases covered. Head to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping when you use code rapport from daddy to zaddy. I hate saying that, but
I think he's still there.
Okay.
They're still trying to figure. I mean, he's not like he's out there killing it. He's
Yeah.
going to be their guy, I'm assuming, unless they got someone that's from the high school ranks that they feel that can be the one. But
Yeah.
I got my eyes on a Clemson. I think
I'm
Miami. I'm
about to say
curious to see what
Miami's the
happened with
other one.
Miami.
Miami's
Yeah,
got to be the other one that I'm looking at there, just because last year they came in with all of this hype, specifically from Miami fans, thinking it was going to be their year to get back into it. I don't know if Miami made it. Um, and again, I'm thinking about just early season, right? Like by the end of the year, you could probably name like 8 of these teams that will not be in the top 25 by the end of the season. But early season for Auburn to sneak in there with the same kind of criteria, I'm talking about first 4 to 5 games. Yeah, I'd have to look at a Miami, a maybe even Michigan, right? Like I don't know. I think Michigan's going to be
yeah,
super talented again.
yeah. But
Um,
it's
but
it's a lot of they lost a lot.
new head coach, new starting quarterback, new starting running, like, you know what I'm saying? Like they got a
A
lot of
lot of
stuff that they got to
changes.
replace from a team that just, I get they just won a national title, but like you lost a lot of those guys. And not to say that Michigan won't be good this year, but are they going to be ready to just reload as opposed to rebuild after losing so much? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few teams up here that you can keep your eye on, like FSU being one of them, right?
Yeah.
Good defense, but
I mean,
again, they lost a lot of
clearly they're
people.
not any good if they don't have the guy who started at quarterback for them last season, which they don't.
Right?
According to a lot of who's going to be the starting quarterback at Florida State next year? Who did they
You know
get?
who transferred there, don't you?
Oh no, was it DJ?
It was DJ.
Uwe
DJ transferred.
Ungalale. All right.
He is at FSU.
Yeah, I'm not a big DJ believer, so I don't know
So
that
that's
he.
this is
Yeah,
another team I'm keeping my eye
I mean,
on.
listen, what I do believe in is the coach down there at Florida State, putting some really talented players around him to be able. But I just don't love his decision making in some instances. He's a gamer. He played fairly well last season, as a transfer player, where he was at Oklahoma State, right, last year.
Yes,
Played
that is
fairly
correct.
well at OK State. I don't know that. Or is it Oregon State? Was it Oregon State? It
It
was
was
one of.
Oregon State. It was
Okay.
Oregon State. I'm sorry. Same color.
Yeah, that's why in my mind
Yeah,
I'm seeing the colors.
yeah.
I'm like, but it was definitely a Pac-12 team. But yeah, he's playing in the Pac-12 against those Pac-12 defenses. I don't know if that means he got any better, or maybe he got an opportunity to see a collegiate defense play at a speed that he's accustomed to, but he's going to be now back in the ACC where he struggled as a starting QB. So I don't know, man.
Let me ask you this. Let's talk about. We look through some of these schedules, and Georgia has a pretty tough schedule.
It does.
They start game one on the road against Clemson.
Yeah.
They play Kentucky on the road, the third game of the season, but then actually, Ike, that's wild. I am looking at 3 of their first 4 games
Hmm.
are on the road.
So they go on the road to Clemson. Where else are they on the road?
Kentucky and then
Ooh.
Bama. But
Wow, seriously?
they have a bye. They have a bye between Kentucky and Bama. So that helps. But yes, 3 of their first 4 games of the season are on the
3 of
road.
their first 4 are not only on the road, but they're Power 5 games.
Yes.
Good Lord, they baptized Kalen DeBoer. What is going? That is rough.
This is Georgia now.
Oh, excuse me. I thought you said Bama.
This is Georgia.
I mean, that's still rough for Georgia. Don't
That's
get me wrong.
rough.
That's rough for Georgia, but that's still, if anybody can handle that and get his team ready to play, I believe Kirby can. But because Georgia versus Clemson, Defensive struggle for sure, because Clemson's going to have good, strong defensive play. They have consistently, even in the with losing the defensive coordinator
I'm
there.
hearing the Clemson game is in Atlanta, so it's that
Oh, it's a neutral
ACC
site.
SEC.
Okay, that's a
Yeah, it's
little
different.
different.
That's
That's a little
basically a
different.
home game.
Yeah, that's
That's
different.
basically a home game. Okay.
All right, that's a little different, but still,
Yeah.
you got to go on the road to Kentucky. I don't think they're scared to go on the road to Kentucky. And what was
So
the
you
other
got
one?
Bama. So
Going on the road to Tuscaloosa that's the rough game.
The road games for Georgia, they have to go on the road to Bama. They have to go on the road to Texas and Ole Miss.
Mm,
Okay, those are what all three of those teams Andy has in his top 10.
wow, that's rough. If Georgia makes it through this gauntlet, they earned it this time, man. Like nobody can take that away from Georgia. They don't have a cream puff schedule
They're gonna have to
to be
earn
able to
it this year.
cakewalk their way to an SEC championship berth or just to play in the game.
In my personal opinion, I think that they did well with most people's schedules outside of Florida. I think Florida, goodness gracious.
Now, Florida
But
is a murderer's row, but
yeah.
this is
But
tough though. This is a tough schedule for Georgia.
Bama goes on the road against Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
They go on the road against LSU.
That's rough.
Oklahoma.
That's
those
rough.
are their three.
Those are three really tough road games. Because listen, Tennessee has broken that streak, and I think they're gonna come playing with a bunch of confidence at home versus Bama, new head coach, all that. Going on the road to face LSU in Death Valley is always a crazy one. Even though that LSU team, you don't really know what to expect from them, new quarterback, all of that. That's a tough schedule. Those are some tough. I don't envy anybody's schedule right now that we're looking at. This is going to be one of the more competitive. I think this is correct. The first year of the 12-team playoff has given you a very competitive schedule if the teams are playing up to the caliber of what their mystique is.
Right. I will tell you a team that I think has a really good shot. An incredibly good shot at being. I think they have a good shot of even making it to the college football playoff. Now that it expanded, I mean, yeah, they got a really good chance. Ole Miss's schedule is Charmin soft.
Mm.
They play Furman, Middle Tennessee, and home. Wake Forest on the road.
Okay.
Georgia Southern at home. Kentucky at home.
Okay.
South Carolina on the road. LSU on the road. Oklahoma does come in, go to Oxford. They have Arkansas on the road. Georgia comes into Oxford, and then they play Florida on the road, and then they have the Egg Bowl. That's at home too.
Yeah, I mean, really, there's their toughest game.
I can see why